welcome back. It's me, Pixipui, with another season of Animating 101, where we learn animation in fun ways and cool things, which you love to hear. Eee! Hi guys! Hi Wade, hi Bruce, hi Oliver. Just before this stream, we had a moment with Paco, which I just caught the end half of it, but I've just learned a bunch of new stuff that I didn't realize that you could do in Lightroom, so that was actually really, really cool. If you're not already subscribed to Adobe Live, please make sure you hit the like and the subscribe, because there's so many cool information and different tidbits about all the different Adobe programs. Hi Uma, hi Gareth, how is everybody doing today? Happy New Year, if you've not had it already. Yes, we might be in the second week. I can still say it because I've not seen some of you lately, so it's all good. But yes, as I said earlier, we have revamped Animating 101. We've made it focus on animation and After Effects, but all the way to the beginning. How far to the beginning? So far that we're going to actually talk about some whats and the whys. Hi, Steve. Hi. So get ready, get your pens. This is the class. The class is in session. Curriculum. We've got a few whats. First of all, what is animation? Animation is a sequence of images in motion. So the zoetrope is a great example of this, but this also goes for 3D animation, as well as flipbooks and stop frame animation as well, including movies and videos that you take on your phone. You might not think it because it's a video, but it's actually just a sequence of still images in motion. Or not just images, frames, perhaps, might be the better word. Thank you, Bruce. Oh, when I say I revamped this, I meant I revamped this. But we're talking about frames. We know we talk about frames quite a bit in After Effects. Something I've been asked a lot, what is a keyframe? Keyframes are key story poses of the animation. So they tell us what's going to happen, and we fill in the gaps in between. There's not much more to it than that. Pretty simple, huh? Okay, right. So we know what animation is. We know what keyframes are. But what are we going to do today? Because when I say I revamped it, like how far did we revamp? Well, I've got a class project for you. I have done a series, 5 at the moment, different exercises for you to practice from the beginning with our animation and animating in After Effects. But because you've got to put the pixie twist on it, they kind of look a little bit more like mini games. We're going to have fun with this. As the course goes on, because I've made this into a curriculum, we'll be able to take what we've learned from this lesson and put it to the next and expand it even more till we get to some more complicated animations. Oliver said, homework? No one said there'd be homework. You better get your book out, Oliver. Hi, Benny. So the first exercise is maze. Next is the funnel. Third is wait your turn. Fourth is button mash. And the last is the couple. Now, the last exercise of every course or every exercise set that we do is always the one where you're going to be using all of your information. So you'll be able to test your skills. So that means the further we go in the classes, a little bit trickier it's going to get. Welcome, Spontaneous. Oh, thank you. Spontaneous said, this is one of my favorite people in the universe right here. If I could blush, I would. Thank you. So before we begin, if you want to get started with some of these really easy, very fun mini game based exercises, or if you're watching this as a rerun, please be sure to check the chat, or it should be added to the description, I'm sure. If not, just tag me somewhere and I'll find it. But we do have the files available for you, so you'll be able to review them, but not just review them. I spent some more time in it. Your homework will allow you to animate what I've given you, but it's also got a video on the side, just in case you weren't there or you don't want to rewatch the whole stream again. It's got little bits and tips for you all the way through. Hi, Easy. Wait, can we get that link, please? If you can't find it, please tell me. I will grab it. But before we start, any questions? And to those that have just joined, welcome on in. I hope you like the new revamp. Did you guys like my new intro, by the way? I spent days on that. Okay, so Number 1, maze. So to help us, we've got Mr. Keyframe. Mr. Keyframe needs to get through the maze, and it's our job to help him do that. In these exercises, we're only going to be using the position. So when I said simple, I meant really, really simple. So if you're joining along right now, make sure you don't have it. Hold on. Hold the line, caller. Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the line, caller. I'ma look for the thingy, and then I'ma give it to Wade. Hold on a second, she's looking for it. Oh, I think I found it. There it is. Give me the link. Here we go. There we go. Oops. Wow. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Hold on. That's horrid. Ooh. 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 That's doesn't look like a normal link to me. And here we go. This is the one. Oh, I don't know why it's so big, but that is it. Oh, it can't find it? Hold on. Ooh, don't you love it when we get a little bit of... Oh, I can see it though. That must be the old one. That's so bizarre. This should be the right one now, I think. Let me double check for you, Wade, before we go any further in. No. I'm going to quickly upload one because I still have it on my computer. Of course I do. Let me go grab that. It should be here somewhere. Probably on the bottom line, I'm thinking. There it is. All right. Let's pop that in. And let me get that to you too. Sweet! I'm just looking for that now. Ah, here we go. I'm not sure why. I can see it in there, so it's kind of weird that it's not showing up. But hi, sis. I saw my sister in there before I had to go look for the link. Technology, you know, I was like, oh, I'm all prepared. I'm all ready. And I looked and it's like, yeah. It was just laughing at me. Kind of like, new is what I'm going to call it. There we go. There we go. I don't know why it was like that before. But now it should do it. Am I late? No. You're here right on time. In fact, we're just making sure that you can get this link so you can work alongside us. And here we go. Share the link. I don't know why it looks that big. This one you should be able to do. Oh. File download. I'm just checking to see if that's so strange. I wonder what's wrong. No, okay, I can download this one. Wade, let me know if this one works for you, please. If it does, please let me know. If it doesn't, let me know. Rich, welcome on in. Penny, the technology. It's so true. It's so very true. I'm going to pop it in both places. Wade, let me know if this works. I don't know why it's giving me that version of the link rather than the normal version of the link. Let me know. It's kind of strange, that. You can share it, but it's not letting you open it. Huh. If anybody else can grab a hold of that link, let me know if you're able to open it, please. I'm not sure why it's being like that. I'll have to do a tiny link on it afterwards, I think. Alrighty. Might have to get my sis to try that for me, I'm thinking. Right, we've dilly-daddied enough. Oh, thank you. How am I doing? I'm doing good, thank you. Minus the technical difficulties, but I guess that gives us enough time. So by the time you get here in the rerun, if you're watching this on the rerun, grabbing the stuff, grabbing the links of which seem to be eluding us at the moment, you'll be able to casually just open it and join on in. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Wade. Thank you. Oh. Right. So you can grab the class project files now, and sis was able to download it. Perfect. So if you'd like to join on in, there are 5 fun mini game exercises. Please grab that link that Wade's dropped down below, download it, and go ahead and open the thingamabobby. You can open the one that says homework as well. Works for you? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Oliver. Thank you, Bruce, for trying. Okay, so the first one is the maze. If we press the space bar on our keyboard, that plays the animation, but there is no... Oh my gosh, thank you, Wade. Wade's got a nice, cute little tiny Adobe URL version that he's posting down below. Keep an eye out. Wade will pop that in the YouTube chat as well if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you. So when you press the space button, nothing's happening, but there's Mr. Keyframe. So the only thing we're going to animate is Mr. Keyframe. So if you like, if you move your mouse to the left, there's a lock. You can press the lock on everything that's not his body. So let's click on Mr. Keyframe's body, and we need to move the position because that's the only thing we're animating. So P for position. You have to make it less scary. Thank you. Thank you for doing that, because it was like, rah. It's like, ooh, it's not Halloween. Now that we've pressed P for position, we can see the position information. So one is translate, that's up and down. The one on the left is, well, Y-axis, up and down, and X-axis, which is left and right. We're going to be using a mix of both of them. URL glow up, Betty. So the first thing we're going to do is click on the stopwatch. That's what makes a keyframe. And we learned that a keyframe is just a frame that makes the, the key story pose of what's happening, or lets you know what's happening next. So on this frame, if we pull Mr. Keyframe down, because he's going in the maze, he can't already be in the maze. At this frame, Mr. Keyframe is invisible, but we want him to go up. He can't go through the maze because that won't be teaching us how to necessarily move around comfortably. So I'm going to move my timeline a little bit. We'll talk about timing and spacing in the next lesson. That will be in 2 weeks' time. So let me move the mouse or the timeline over a little bit. And we're going to move him up because we've got to go up the maze. Okay, I'm comfortable with that. Let's scroll or scrub back to the start and press the space bar. Okay, we've got a steady movement. Like it, we dig it. Remember, we're going for simple and easy because the harder ones that are coming later are going to use all the fundamentals and foundations. So all of the animations that you see, be it stop frame or hand drawn, they all use the fundamentals first, but lots of them on top of each other. That's what makes it look complicated and really cool. So we've made it move. I'm happy with that, but I need him to go to the left. So I'm going to drag my scrubber over a little bit more. We're going to go to the left blue set of numbers. That's the one that goes left and right. We're going to drag it to the left. Now, you might have noticed that there's a little bit of a curve thingy going on here. That means if we were to press the play button between these two frames, it's going to kind of look like it's hopping over. I want it to be a really straight line situation. So we can't have it go straight like this. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to use something called toggle holes. The box to the left. Everybody look to the box to the left. So we're going to grab the last keyframe that we did. We've deleted the other one now. We'll right click this one and go to toggle hold keyframe. Oh, there we go. So at first glance, it doesn't look like it's really doing anything, but if we put our next keyframe of Mr. Keyframe going to the left, we'll see that it looks like Mr. Keyframe's kind of snapped to the next position, which isn't exactly what we wanted because now you can't see him going over there. He's just teleporting. And we do need to fix this front half, but let's fix this one first. So here's a secret. When you right click a keyframe and you do the toggle hold, the next keyframe you make tells it when to stop holding. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the first keyframe that we made. That's Control C for copy, Control V, which is not for paste, but here we are. And we're going to hold the control button and click, or if you're not really sure about using keyboard shortcuts, press the right mouse key on the new keyframe we just made and do toggle hold again. Now, Mr. Keyframe will stay still between these two frames. He will move after, but we have to make this a normal frame too. So how do we do that? Do you remember? We right click, we untoggle. There we go. Now, Mr. Keyframe is moving over. Wait, he's fast! Yeah, he is. Gotta go fast. He's late. So now, when we press the space bar, he waits and he goes. So let's say you wanted him to wait less. All we have to do is move the controller for the hold, that's the second keyframe, over a little bit. So wherever this second keyframe is, the animation will follow after it. Boom. Lovely. Sponsored. Hey Pixie, I'm used to watching all my YouTube content at 1.5. Can you talk 50% faster? Challenge accepted. Okay, so all we got to do is then grab hold of this one, grab a hold of that one, then make sure that they're all working in the right place and in the same way. After that, all we have to do is go over to the last one and make sure that when we move it up, it actually moves up in the right place. Is that better, Spun? Matrix style, just all we have to do is put glasses. We need to put glasses on him, Penny and Oliver. Then he'll be like, who's that guy from the Matrix? Okay, so now if we go back to the very start, Mr. Keyframe goes up and to the left. I think I want him to move a bit steadier. So I'm just going to highlight and drag all the keyframes and move them over a little bit. There we go. So the closer they are, the faster they move. Now, where does Mr. Keyframe need to go? Needs to go up. That's the only way out of here. So let's do the same again. We need it to hold on this one, because if we don't, well, do we? Let's see what it looks like without it, and you'll be the judge. We can move our indicator over and drag Mr. Keyframe up. We can see already that it's making this curve situation again that I'm not sure that we're happy about. So let's press play. Nope. Mr. Keyframe is rubbing on the bottom line. He can't be rubbing on no bottom line. We need him to come straight up. So how do we make him wait? All we have to do, actually, I'm going to put that keyframe back. That was all right. Let's put that one up there. What we have to do is put a hold. Do you remember? Morpheus, that's the one. Morpheus. Thank you, Bruce. Morpheus. Didn't they all wear glasses? You might be right, you know. So we're going to right click and we go to toggle hold keyframe. But we're having the Matrix situation, as we're lovingly calling it now. He just going boop. So how do we make, we need it to, we've told it to hold, we need to tell it to unhold. I'm going to copy the hold, paste it, and right click and go to toggle hold keyframe, or hold control and move it over. So now Mr. Keyframe will wait until this keyframe is done, and then it'll go up. And if we press the space bar, ta-da! We can make him take longer to go up. Maybe he's tired. I don't know. I don't know if we're looking at this front on or if he's just levitating up. I don't know. But there we go. In this first exercise, we've learned how to use the position, how to turn on the keyframes to start with, and how to actually use toggle hold keyframes. Sometimes when you put a bunch of keyframes together, you don't always need toggle hold. But if you're in a situation where you need your character to stay still or something on them to actually stay still to another moment, we know all we have to do is toggle hold on the frame, make another hold that unholds the hold. Does that make sense? Okay. How is that? Is that okay? Are you ready for number 2? I think you're ready for number 2. Number 2, the funnel. So in this story, Mr. Keyframe needs to get out of this funnel. We don't know how he got in there, but I've pre-animated the scale. So this means you have to use your ability to check what's happening to time when he comes out of the funnel. So what we've just learned is being expanded upon. We know how to make him move and in different directions, and we know how to make him wait with the toggle hold keyframe. We could make a scene from Metal Gear. Penny! All right. Oh. Oh my gosh, Penny. Look at you, my muse. My muse! Okay, boom, cool. Oh, Bruce, are you enjoying these? I was thinking that there's definitely a way to make everything more fun and make them like a mini game. If we could make it into a game, we'd want to do it, right? So if you've downloaded the files, or now you're interested to download the files and join in, bear in mind, all the files that we're going to be using, we're going to be expanding upon with every new bit of information we get. So these are going to be expanded with timing and spacing in the next class. Yeah, you had a good idea. You always have a good idea. Now, if we press the space bar, we'll see that Mr. Keyframe is just changing size at the top. The only problem with this is when Mr. Keyframe gets bigger, he can't logically fit inside the funnel. It's down to us to move Mr. Keyframe out. He needs to be squished when he's in the funnel, and when he comes out, or when he's bigger, that's when he should be out. So, early homework, Batman. Look, you know you love it. You know you love it. You know you enjoy it. Hi, Mohammed. Welcome on in, lovely. If you want to join in, please go ahead and grab the files that we just put down below. We've got the files now. We've got the files. So we don't need to move the hat or the stage. So we can select both of these and lock them. By locking them, it means you don't accidentally do something that you weren't supposed to do, like deleting them. And we all know we've done that before. And we've also saved it. And then we also didn't realize it until too long. And then, you know, the tragedy and the tiny violin starts playing. We ain't going through that. So we're going to lock it down, grab Mr. Keyframe, and this time, yes, P is for position, and we press P to see position, but I'm going to make sure you're used to looking and assessing what's happening inside the layers of After Effects. So I want you to press U. There's no reason for it to be called U, as far as I can find, but we're going to push U. By pushing U, it shows any animated keyframe that's on the screen. So all of these frames that you see here are the scale animations I've done. We're not going to do anything to these right now. All we have to do is make him move out. So how do we make him move? Move is with position. Position starts with P. That's right. So I'm going to pop my first keyframe down, and I'm going to press U again, twice, until it opens everything. Now this way I can time my position with the scale via sight. Wait, it looks like a... John said, wait, why does my version look nothing like this? Well, John, what you've got is the homework version. If you want to open this version, I think it's inside one of the After Effects version, but what John is talking about my curated one for you. So this is number 2. Your homework looks like this. So you've got the name of your homework on the top, and in case you're not able to hear the class or you're doing this on your own, you can see exactly what's happening. So everything that I'm doing, I've actually made a little video for you on the left. That way you don't actually have to go back and watch the video again if you don't want to. Or maybe you can't join in right now, but you still want to be involved. You've got your stuff on the side. Your files are there on the right hand side, and all you're going to do is grab your Mr. Keyframe, grab your position, and follow along. Thank you very much, John. Okie doke. We are going back to, which one are we on? We are on the main tingamating. There we go. The one I've lovingly called, I work here. Very thoughtful. Thank you. I'll find new ways to make it look prettier. I promise you. I promise you, John. I promise you. All right. So we're back. We've got our position. But Mr. Keyframe gets bigger on the second one. So I'm going to drag Mr. Keyframe down a little bit. So my first keyframe, I'm going to pull him up out of the way. We don't need to see him yet. Let me drag him up. Also, note to self, you can put the first keyframe anywhere you like. It doesn't always have to start at the beginning. Sometimes it's better if it doesn't. Oh, Mohammed, hello. It's for some reason the orange. I didn't notice the orange. Mohammed said, hello, can you tell us more about the animation theory and the animation pipeline workflow? That's a very interesting one. Yes, in fact, it's a little bit different depending on what devices you're using, but there is a fundamental that's the same, which we're going through. At the moment, we're going from straight ahead. So straight ahead means that you're animating as you go. But usually when you have keyframes or key story poses, you might do the first frame. So for instance, I'll show you. You'll block out what's happening. So this is my first frame, let's say. And we know the last frame, he needs to be at the bottom. We could do it this way. So the first frame, he's at the top. The last frame, he's at the bottom. I'm going to stick a hold on all of these just so you're able to see what I mean. So he's at the top. At some point, he'd be here, let's say, at the top, near the middle, and at the bottom. So when you've got really big animations coming along, you plan out each keyframe, each key story pose, so that helps you know where the character needs to be by what time. But we're going to expand upon all of that and animation theory as the class goes ahead. This way you're not going to be bombarded with too much information. Otherwise, too much talk, not enough action means you won't really take it in. So let me take us back. I'm going to drag Mr. Keyframe down to the bottom of the funnel. But by this point, he's already getting bigger. So I'm going to drag this point here. Mohammed said, what are the configuration parameters, dimensions, units, etc. that you've adapted for this project file? So Mohammed, the homework file that you have is slightly wider than the one that I'm using, mainly because it's got text on it and a video showing you what to do, just in case you're not watching with me. So you don't really need to worry about the sizes necessarily. The size that you've got of this project is actually on the height. That's the difference in straight ahead and pose to pose. That's the one way, that's the one. So where I was taught animation in 3D, they lovingly didn't teach us any other words. So while I'm going back through this again from the start with you lot, it's teaching me some cool stuff too. All right, so we've got this. Mr. Keyframe goes there, but I think I need him to get there faster. So to make things happen faster, we bring the keyframes together. Hi, Annika. Welcome in, lovely. How are you? How are you? All right, Mr. Keyframe's there. But I think I'm probably going to have him hold for a second and then make him come straight through. So how do we hold? We right click on the second keyframe and turn it into a hold. So now he comes down. I need him to be out by here, let's say. So we'll look for Mr. Keyframe to be slightly wider and we drag him down. So we go back to position and we drag down the Y. There we go. Myroslava. Oh, I love your name, lovely. Welcome to the stream animation or animating 101, where we're going from the very beginning with animation and with After Effects. But we're only doing position. We're going to make it harder later. So to download your homework files, please check the link below. Yes, as John pointed out, it does look slightly different. That's because it's homework. It's got text on the left, just in case you need a gentle reminder of what is happening, especially if you missed the first half. All right, so we've got a hold, but there's just teleportation. So how do we fix the teleportation? We take off the hold. So to remove the hold, either hold Control and left click or right click and go to toggle hold keyframe, whichever one feels more comfortable for you. Thank you, Wade. So now, if we look, yes, it does look like there's still a pop of movement. That's because, remember what we said? The toggle hold has two parts. It has when the hold starts and when the hold ends. We've not made when the hold ends yet. So I'm going to copy the toggle hold, Control C for copy, Control V for apparently paste. And let's make this a non-holdy either. So toggle hold keyframe. Remember, depending on how close these are is how long they last. My best friend. Hello. Puffball cutie. Hello, lovely. Thank you so much for joining. How are you doing today? So, if this is closer to our hold, the hold will only last 2 frames. Seems all right to me by what's happening, but we need to make sure there's a gap between the hold and the next frame. If we don't, it's going to look like it's popped again, and that's not what we want. So let's make sure there's a bit of a hold there. Puffball, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm wearing my thingy. We've all got these now. All wearing the cute things. So if we go back and press play, we can see that he's come out. Ooh, I dig it. We might not need this keyframe, but we just wanted to make sure that he came out at the right time. We could probably make him touch the floor. Let's see how that goes. So on this keyframe that we've got, we're going to drag him down to the bottom. Let's see what happens. Ah, there we go. Now, because the rest of the scale has been animated, when we put Mr. Keyframe down at the right part, it's going to look like he's kind of reacting to landing. Not bad, huh? So yet again, we have used the standard keyframes with, what do you call it? The toggle hold. So this class is pretty much all about position and toggle hold isms. Are there any questions? The questions, let me know. Like Mohammed asked another thing. And he sticks to the dismount. 10s across the board. Wait, I don't have anything. Wait. 10s. Not bad at all. Thanks, Breeze. You're loving the stream? Oh, thank you, Puffball. All right, I think you're ready for number 3. Are we ready? Number 3. Wait your turn. These are popping a boing. Oh, we can do that later. Wait your turn is number 3. Mr. Keyframe is super duper eager to get to the other side. But he's so eager that he's going through these door clamp things. We need to make sure that he waits to go through. So if you open your third homework, if you're ready for it, you do have an accompanying video on the left-hand side. She's tried to be accommodating, but now that I've got, you know what, all feedback, all feedback is good feedback. I'm going to see if I can find a more attractive way to still make it look like a homework book, but like, you know, I don't know what the word is, this, I'll find a way. I'm writing down update homework look. Looks like something from Indiana Jones. Thank you, Oliver. Spawn said, is that a Linux Red Hat? No, it's not. I used to play a game called Mr. Escape. And he had a red hat. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's Mr. Keyframe. Maybe I can play some homage. So that's where this hat comes from. It's rah. You know what I mean? You know, like, okay. So like when you look at this and you're like, oh, this is a fountain pen, but it could be cuter. And you're like, rah. So now it's cute. Like, yeah, not homework. It's game time. Game time. Exactly. Maybe I should just call it your gaming exercises, huh? So if we press space on our third mini game, we'll find that Mr. Keyframe seems to have no decorum and he's just going through like he's got cheats on. He does not have cheats on. He needs to learn how to wait. So we're going to have to change the keyframes that I've got. We don't necessarily need to move their position, but we know how to toggle hold, don't we? Yes, we do. So I'm going to make this one go up a little bit more. I don't want him to be on the screen quite yet. So he goes through. I should make him wait here. So by scrubbing, we can see that the doors are not open yet. Wait, Misty said, what on? So into the stream, just burned my lunch. No! Oh, Misty, I'm so sorry. Oh, Misty, no! If that's a testimony, that's a testimony, if anything. I'm so sorry about your food. I'm so sorry. What about if like one of the mini games was about food? Oh, we could, oh my gosh. Oh, I'm gonna write it down. Mini game about food. That will probably be on like the 3rd or 4th class because we're going to be using position, rotate. Oh, that'll be so good. Minigame about food. Yes. I hope it's like it can be eaten, but not like doesn't taste like burnt, you know? All right. So we've moved Mr. Keyframe. The doors are shut. We want to put a new keyframe here. You got 2 ways to go about this. You could either, hold on. Oh, yes, because we didn't move him. If you're wondering why the keyframe didn't automatically go like it normally does, that's because it automatically places a keyframe if you physically interfere. If you only move the scrubber key, it's not going to do it. So to make one, all you have to do is go all the way to the left, find that little diamond, that's Mr. Keyframe's family. Click on that, and now it's put a keyframe at the point where we were at. Okay, now I'm hungry. You're always hungry. Game about saving the food. Don't let it get burnt. Ah, Davian! Game about saving food from burning. Oh my gosh. Yo. You know how they've got like Twitch plays? There's going to be Adobe Creates. Yes, Adobe Creates. Okay, so we've got this, but he's still going through. We need him to what? We need him to hold. So let's right click and go to toggle hold keyframe. Shine bright like a keyframe. I mean diamond. No, you were right the first time. Shine bright like a keyframe. Like, look at him. All shiny. Look at him. Shiny on both sides. Slightly different, but like shiny on both sides. Like, yeah. That pun I can get down with. Happy luck, Spawn. All right, so we've got him to hold, but we know we can't just have him hold there. He doesn't know when to stop holding. How do we make him stop holding? We make another keyframe. We turn it into a normal keyframe. If you're wondering why this keyframe is square, that's because it's still another hold, but a different type of hold. So I'm gonna hold Control and click, or if you don't want to use shortcuts, right click and toggle hold keyframe. It will undo it for us. Puffball said, shine bright like a keyframe. I know! I would kind of wish I thought of it, but I didn't. Wade's got puns for days. I haven't forgotten about that last stream that me insisted. Wade coming out with all the things. Okay, so now Mr. Keyframe only holds till then, but that's too soon. Like if we were playing a game, it'd be like, it's not good. No. He needs to wait more. So let's drag the hold a little bit more. Nope, gotta wait more. It's gotta wait much more. Let's drag it here. So now Mr. Keyframe's waiting. There we go. He's waited. He's gone through. So if we press the space bar, he goes down, he waits for a second, and now he can fly right through. Just whew. I need to make some like, hold on. I'm gonna add some like, oh, you don't understand how I've been working feverishly. If I had thought about it, I would have added like a sound that I can push a button on and be like, ta-da, you did it. You did it. Is this animation for a game app? Actually, no, Miroslava. The game is learning. So actually, these are just designed for us to learn how to do bits and bobs, well, foundational skills in animation and After Effects and further. So this is a game for us, not for an app, just for After Effects. Thank you for asking. I don't think any of us will forget that stream in a hurry. Oh my gosh, Oliver. But we've done number 3. We've got 2 more. Are there any questions? She said, hold on, let me sip my drink. Oh. But I'm glad you think it looks like a game, because these were supposed to be mini games. Honestly, Miro, I find as a gamer, I think if things look like a game, it might be a little bit more fun. Plus, we have a reason to do stuff. Either things won't work if they're animated a certain way, or like when we do this save the food from burning mini game, something's going to happen and we're gonna have to animate around it. Ah, that feels so fun. It feels so fun. That was it, baubles. There's a stream sometimes, some plays, don't recall. Thank you, Oliver. All right, are you ready for number 4? I feel like you're ready for number 4. Are we ready? Before we do it, hello, how do you manage the keyframe in the timetable line for a project? What's the best practices? So in the timetable line, is this the timetable line? Hold on, let me take a look. Is this the timetable line? You're teaching me new things. Is this the timetable line? So the best way to manage the keyframes, since we're going along, we're not really thinking about it too much because we're making sure that it works to what we're seeing. You can click and drag with the left mouse button if you need to move keyframes around. In the next couple of episodes of Animating 101, we'll learn different keyframes to help manage your animations better and manage the keyframes positionings. But there's be a reason for every spot where you stick your keyframe, but we'll definitely get more into that. Eventually, which you might like, Mohammed, especially if you've already been animating before, you can make sure you select a, let's say a keyframe that's been animated. So let's say the position's already been done. And if you go up to the graph editor, you may find that you have more control in this side. So if you've used it before, you didn't know how to go back, the graph editor is another great way of fine-tuning your animation, moving them together. That means clicking and dragging things over. It does the same thing, but in a slightly different way. Mira said, cool, I want to learn animation for my design since I'm a graphic designer. Yes, Mira. Well, since this is the second season of Animating 101, we actually did do a animation set of how to do social media apps and other things. So we made a cat. Oh, if you weren't there for my introduction, should I show you my intro again? It seems a bit cheeky, but at least all of the animations are on there. All the animations are on there, so that's kind of the saving grace. But we went through how to use masking, how to do different scale sizes, how to do X, Y, Z. But that was pretty much a lot in one go. It wasn't really from the beginning. So please take a look back, or in YouTube, write down Adobe Live Pixipui with that spelling, and you'll find the series there. Or you can check me out on Behance, same name, Pixipui, and you'll be able to find the recap lessons. There I've added the files for you to use. They look normal files, not the homework files, because that's before I thought of homework, or the gaming minigame files. And you'll be able to rewatch the, oh, she forgot the word, rewatch the live stream if you wanted to watch back. Damn it, let's see it. Oh my god, okay. Are you ready? Yeah! Okay, that was it. That was fun. Oh, I enjoyed that. Even though I couldn't hear it. But I enjoyed seeing it again. So just before that ball wiped away the stuff, that was a recap of some of the things that we animated previously. So if you're already at another animating level, please do go ahead and check those out. You can download those files for free, have a go, play around with that. That was rad. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you like it. And I think we're ready for number 4. But hopefully you do enjoy the new version of Animating 101, because I know it looks like we're doing really simple stuff now, but all the stuff that I'm doing here is what I used on that, but all of them together. So when it starts to get more complicated, you won't feel too about it, because we would have worked our way up. Thanks, Mira. Mira said, so cool. 4. Button mash. So somebody's pushing a button. The button makes the doors open, and we're going to imagine there's a gust of wind coming out of that. So when the doors open, Mr. Keyframe needs to come up, and he needs to go back down before the doors shut. So if you're done and you're following along, make sure you close up your number 3, close up your episode 3, or your mini game of number 3, open up number 4, and let's get ready. Wait, Spawn said, keyframes are such a fundamental part of doing things and videos, whether it be animating or otherwise. A real world example of when I used keyframes before I was generating a slideshow in Adobe Premiere. A real world example is when I use keyframes before when generating a slideshow. It's very true spontaneous. Even in 2D hand-drawn, they're not called keyframes. They're called, what is it? They're called something else. It's not exactly the same wording, but they mean the same thing. So once you get the animation down here, you can transfer it to stop frame, to this, that, the other. The timing and the spacing is always something else. Mr. Keyframe's always up to something. He really is. He's, you know, what did you guys call him? Mr. Indiana Jones? If we press the space button, if you've got your homework version ready, by the way, if you press the space button and the animation's too long, your thingy is longer. Your thingy, it's a good description, yeah? The thingy is longer on the homework because the video where I'm teaching you how to do it, in case you're not watching the stream, is about 30 seconds. But if you only want the animation to loop, just above where our blue scrubber is, grab the end, the little, there we go, the work area end, and you can click and drag. That way you can cut when you want the animation to play. That way you don't have to play the whole thing just to see the video if you're not really watching the video yet. Alrighty. Oh, Misty, you got a message. You got mail. All right, so if we press the space bar, we can see when the character is pushing. Bruce said, oh, wow. Ooh. So we know Mr. Keyframe needs to be out of the way when it starts. Now, if your homework has a bunch of things on it and you only want to see Mr. Keyframe, you can either turn the eyeball off on the things you don't want to see, obviously probably not on the stage, or like for me, I don't really need to see the green stuff. That stuff I've animated for you lot. So I'm just going to select everything, gonna hold Control, hold Shift, and C for composition. And I'm not gonna call it anything at all. Because it doesn't matter. Okie dokie. We're not animating Mr. Keyframe's hat because that's secondary animation and we're not doing that yet. We will later. Ooh, we will later. We need Mr. Keyframe to move. So how do we do the moving? Position. Position starts with a P. So let me open that up. Now my Mr. Keyframe's at a good height. I think I want to keep it. So what I'm going to do... No, we're going to start from the beginning. Don't worry. We'll get to a more advanced place later. Oh no, Spawn. I'm so sorry. The voice talking, like when you try to voice chat into a phone, can be a little bit wonky sometimes. So I'm going to drag Mr. Keyframe down. I'm not putting a keyframe yet because, do you remember what we said on minigame number 2? You don't always need to start at the beginning. Sometimes it doesn't call for it. Hi, Drebin, welcome in to Animating 101 Pixie. We've got homework files if you want to join in now or in the rerun. That's been floating around in the chat, so please do check it out. But the reason why I said we're not sticking a keyframe down at the start is because if we did, look at all this time until the thing opens. It's best to make your animation start when it's about to start. So here we can get to some of the cheating things. It's not moving if no one can see it. We don't put in work when no one's gonna see. So I'm going to put it about here and put my keyframe in. Let's click the stopwatch. Oh, Mel, so they're gonna never get Misty. Look at you making Misty's New Year. Oh, Happy New Year. Everyone that's not been told that yet, Happy New Year. All right, my first keyframe is there. And it looks like the doors are open here. So let's have Mr. Keyframe go right out. All the project files float down here. Wait, see, that sounds like an animation in itself. We might be able to get away with him kind of scrubbing the sides. Let's drag him up and do a little playback. Playback. There we go. Well, he goes up. Not bad. But he doesn't come back down. So I think he'd probably go down. He needs to go down before he gets squashed because we're not doing his scale yet. So maybe here. Now, we can see that he needs to wait a little bit before he goes down. When we do the timing and spacing, we'll also look at over animations. I'll find out the proper name for that when we get to there. But we're going to make him bounce and float a little bit. But that's not here. We just need him to hold it. So I'm going to have Mr. Keyframe wait until it comes down. Wait, Wade. Nobody has ever replied to Drebin like that. Drebin said what it do. Wade said it do. So let me put a hold down on this up. I want him to hold at the top. And I want you to stay holding at the top. We know that we need to turn this second frame into a normal frame. Otherwise, it's going to teleport. That's not the kind of show this is. So let's toggle hold keyframe or hold control and click. The more you animate, the faster you're going to get, the more useful the shortcuts are. Don't get me wrong. There are some things that I don't use the shortcuts for, like the layer. You can add markers for layer, but I don't have a number pad. My keyboard is too short for that. So I haven't even bothered to go into the preferences. Sometimes it's nice to spread around, but as you go on, the shortcuts that we're going to use are going to make your workflow much faster. All right, so Mr. Keyframe comes up, he stays up until the end of the frame. Maybe we can pull him in a little bit. And let's press play. There you go. So now when the person pushes the button, Mr. Keyframe's up and goes down before the doors close. Simple. Not bad, not bad. I'm very proud of you lot. If you're following along, if this is making sense, not only are we learning position and keyframes and toggle holds, but we're also gauging, we're getting an animator's eye. We're going for what feels right. Sometimes there's a lot of the things that we're going to be doing that when we get to a harder animation, you're not going to need to do necessarily in such a strict manner. You might cut corners or do this or that, because at the end of the day, the important thing is what feels right, and you'll be able to gauge the feeling after. All of us said, cool. Brief was like, okay, are we ready for the last one? Number 5! The couple! Introducing Miss Bezier. Miss Bezier likes Mr. Keyframe. I don't know if Mr. Keyframe likes Miss Bezier yet. In this particular mini game, the only requirement is that Miss Bezier has to bounce or bump into Mr. Keyframe. We're working on characters interacting with each other. Now, like I said at the beginning of the lesson, the very last mini game has nothing on it at all. So you have to do everything. And when it comes to the next episode, Bruce's like, oh, yes, it's going to be one of them. Call this the telenovela of the year. Hey. So we'll find out what happens next in Miss Bezier and Mr. Keyframe's lives. Find out next time on Adobe. But yes, the last one has nothing. So we have to use our newfound knowledge. So you can do this in any way you like. You don't have to move Mr. Keyframe off the side. You can do whatever you like with that. Or if you already know how to animate, you can totally try to add rotate, scale, squash and stretch. But for those of us that are starting fresh, the only requirement that I ask of you is we need Miss Bezier to touch Mr. Keyframe and him move. This way you're going to be used to having things interact with each other. Oh, the drama. Sacre bleu. All right. So let's go up to Miss Bezier. The bow, and the bow. We don't need to worry about touching the bow. They're all connected to Miss Bezier. So we're going to grab Miss Bezier. If you haven't yet, make sure you open up your homework number 5. Bezier's known for its curves. She's curved all over. She's so rounded. Wait, she's surrounded or so rounded? I really need to enunciate. So here we are. They're both in the center for me, but I need her. She doesn't need to go from so far away, but I kind of want it to be dramatic. So let me put my position down. And yes, Wade said it's a true fact. It is a true fact. The word Bezier is just about curves, actually. So I'm going to start it from... I'm not going to start it from the beginning. Have a little bit of anticipation. And then move the keyframe over. And this time, we're moving in the x-axis. I'm going to have a bump, We don't need to worry about the overshoots. That's not for this one. That's not how episodes 1 works. We've got to keep it nice and fresh and fun, right? So we've got her coming in. She bumps. She bumps. We need him to react to being bumped. So let me go down to Mr. Keyframe, press P, grab the position, and I'm going to start this maybe around here. We'll see what feels good. And she bumps about here. We can tell that with the video, but also with the keyframes. It's very useful to have your keyframes open because sometimes you can tell exactly where things need to go just based on what keyframes are where. Raye said the Bezier curve is named after French engineer Pierre Bezier. Let's keep it professional. Ooh, I knew I was right to make it sound like Bezier. My sister's like, oh, are you sure that's right? I'm like, it is now. Okay, so he needs to be bumped a little bit so we can move him over, but he's moving before he gets touched. So what do? We need him to stop. So to make him stop, we right click this one. This will be our hold this time. Let's hold this frame. And we know we need it to unhold somewhere. So now we've got our hold and our unholder. I'm gonna move it over. Gauge where something good feels. Ah, there we go. So we've got our frames holding in between here so he knows to wait. We've got a little bit of interaction. And then Mr. Keyframe moves back a bit. So now, if I pull this in a little bit, it looks like he's been pushed out the way a tiny bit. Just said move. But I want to make Miss Bezier go further. So to do that, we're just going to click and drag and move her over. We've got 3 minutes left. But now I need her to wait. How do we do that? We paste, toggle hold keyframe, untoggle, and make her move. Let's do the same for Mr. Keyframe. I want him to be moved when she moves. I'm making it seem like he's being pushed by her, basically. So let's say he goes off. I'm just going to drag the last keyframe over till it looks like they're sort of going together. Let's hold this one down. Copy and paste. We need to make sure he holds. Misty said something really nice just there. And there we go. Looks like they're going together. I want them to be pushed. There we go. Ah. Ta-da! She said, hey, let's go. Misty said to Gareth, thank you so much for the unpacked Pixipui files. You're amazing. Oh, Gareth, thank you so much. Also, you lot, please let me know what you'd prefer with your exercise minigame homework files. If there's an easier way for you to do something or something more you'd like, please let me know and I will make it better for you. But that is the end of episode 1 of Animating 101. So to close it out, conclusion. You do have your homework. Complete the minigame homework. That will let you know if you've got your information and your bits and bobs down. After that, create a short animation using what you learned with anything. And please tag me or Adobe Live. Thank you so much for being with me. Welcome in, Silver. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time. Bye.